video, I'm doing 3 looks for 1 palette with a subculture from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Yes, again, that palette. So I played with that palette for, well, is it a month already? I don't know. I used it maybe like 20 times. I struggled, I had fun, dragged me out of my comfort zone, and it also drove me crazy. I realized 3 different looks. I tried to use all the colors from the palette to give you an idea of what you can create and how the payoff of each color. And I have another video, a first impression. I will link it down below. I just wanted to get back to you because there was so much controversy about that palette, and as I told you in the previous video, my little technique is to set my eyelid, prep my eyelid with a tart shape tape, concealer in the shade Light Sand, and set it with my Clinique loose powder, like the Invisible blend. This combo seems to work pretty well most of the time. So here are 3 looks with this palette, and I'll get back to you at the end of this video. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Instagram and all my social media. Everything will be linked down below. Oh yeah, and if you wonder what is that glow on my face, well, that's Fenty Beauty, guys. Like, yeah, that glow is Trophy Wife. I did a review for that brand, so I will link it down below as well. And I used the gloss and put more Trophy Wife on my lips, and I just love it. Love it! on the Subculture palette after using it for almost a month. Here obviously you saw on the free looks. I can't post all the looks I did, but you can go on my Instagram and see all the photos. But to be honest, I think it's a great palette when you post on Instagram and your look looks great once you finally figure out how to work with that palette. The look looks great, but not every time does the look survive the entire day. Now, some others do. You have to accept that each color doesn't work the same way. Each shade has its own rule. For instance, fudge. First time I used it, I put it in the outer corner on top of Edge or New Wave, I can't remember, but it was other shadows from that palette, and it will not stick. It will not stay, it will not show up. So I was like, okay. It was like very frustrating. Even when after I found out my little technique with my Tarte Shape Tape and my loose powder, I didn't want to stick. It didn't want, so I was like, shoot. But today, because I'm, you know, tenacity is my word. I wanted to try it again, and this time I used it as a first step. Right after I prepped my lid and set it, I used fudge. No problem, you saw it. Shows up, very pigmented, it blends. Not super easy to blend, but with some work you get there. Each shadow has its own rule, and if you're patient, if you're not on your way to meet your boyfriend's parents or a wedding or gala, or you're going to work, you can make it work, but you need to practice, and I'm not sure everybody has the time to practice with an eyeshadow palette. I do because it's my job. What I love about that palette is obviously the colors. Very hard to come up with a very subtle eye look with that palette. So you can, if you're just put one eyeshadow or two and that's all. Don't try to put like 4 shadows because it won't be subtle. It's really hard to make it subtle. So I said subtle too much, but I will never take that palette on a trip, or just that palette by itself on a trip, to be honest. I need something I'm like 100% sure. It's not travel friendly for that reason, not because of the size and weight, just because of the formula. I am not sure that they will come up with another version with more pressed shadows. So it's up to you to see if you want to wait, if you want to try it, you know. But yeah, that's all for that little guy. But look, I've used it probably, what, 20 times, maybe more. And yes, there's a lot of kickback. Not for all the shadows, but especially Dawn. Well, it's the one I use the most also, to be fair. No problem with Adorn, Cube, or Electric. This one, not always easy to blend. This one sadly oxidizes, and it's a beautiful color when you apply it, but it doesn't stay like that beautiful olive green. It turns a little bit like brownish, like that's too bad. Same for that one, it gets a little bit more like a little darker, but I love to mix All Star with Cube. It makes that beautiful, well, you saw it, beautiful purple, like iridescent purple. I really like that shade, Untamed. I think it's beautiful. Axis as well. Need to play more with these. That's it. That's my final thoughts, and to be honest, I'm a little bit sick and tired of that palette because I've been trying it so much, so hard to give a really honest review, you know. I did a first impression video with all the swatches and the look. It wasn't really a first impression because I had travels anyway. I will link the video down below so you can watch it if you want. And also, I am so excited that I did for the first time. It was my first time doing that negative line on top of my liner. And you know what? It's not that hard. If you have a very, very thin brush, and I use the MAC 210 for that little negative line. It's perfect. See how thin it is? That's it, guys. Have a wonderful day and thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel and follow me on my other social media, and I will see you in the next video.